All right, can anybody hear me? And let's go ahead and transition over here and see if we've got audio. Perfect. Am I loud enough? Hey there, Peter. Thanks for the feedback, Darren. Appreciate it. All right. Am I loud enough? Do I need to turn it up, down? Not really sure how it comes through on that end. Awesome. Thank you, Darren. Sure, Peter. Sure. All right. We'll go up just a little bit. All right. Perfect. Okay. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and start this thing. Cool. All right. So this guy is at least somewhat competitive. That'll make this more fun, even though it's 3v3, because everyone loves 3v3, right? Great. All right. So first step, let's figure out how we actually set some teams for 3v3. Ah, transition button. Look at that. All right, so I'm looking at the top 3v3 defense squads from last 3v3 season. Yeah, Darth Revan trio there is a really, really solid defense, especially if you've got really good speed on Darth Revan. So that's an easy one. I have these sorted by the combined victory banners, because that just sort of shows you more what the most efficient defenses are. So this is a combination of it holds pretty well 50% of the time, which is kind of crazy for a non-Galactic Legend team. And then when people do beat it, they only get an average of 50 banners, which is actually pretty high. So it's mostly just from that high hold rate. I don't have GL Luke or GL Rey, so I'm not going to do either of those on either of my characters, or either of my accounts. Interesting that this has... No, I guess it's not that high a rate, but it's interesting that that's the next highest after Darth Revan. Yeah. Yeah, Warlord, that's pretty nice, isn't it? Hi there, David. Welcome to the chat. All right. So I'm just taking a quick look to see what 3v3 teams I might set on defense. This here is obviously a solid choice since I have all the Supreme Leader Kylo stuff ready to go. This Darth Revan team's an easy choice for me. This is always a great 3v3 defense team. And it's not that useful on offense, so it's an easy one to set. Padme is a little bit trickier because she can be very useful on offense. Mon Mothma is still new enough that throwing these three out there is a really solid choice on defense because it can throw a lot of people off. They just don't know how to deal with it yet. Night Sisters, of course, always a pain. This one's the General Grievous trio here is always a fun one to throw on defense. So, I'm going to pick a few of those, but let's check out our opponents first. So I already did a hotbot poll to compare the two accounts respectively. All right. So much higher, well, not much, but 450, yeah, 450,000 GP higher. Much higher character GP. And he's actually got pretty good mods. I don't run into too many people who have better mods than my alt account here. But it looks like my modding is significantly better. On my top 80 characters, I have a lot better speed bonus. Just in general. And I've got much better offense mods, apparently, overall. And here's another interesting thing. I have a lot more relict characters, it appears. So my relics are a lot more spread out. His are a lot more focused. I actually prefer to keep them spread out. It kind of keeps you a little bit more efficient GP-wise. So you'll be going up against opponents who may have focused relics a lot more, but they won't have nearly as many teams that they can use on offense that are going to be able to take out other relict teams. Okay, so he's got his GL Ray. Probably put it on defense. She's just so good on defense that it'd be a hard choice not to. Decent watt, so he'll have some watt counters ready to go. Alright, and he's got me a little bit on ships, so I'll have to be a little... make sure I'm a little more efficient on ships. And then let's go ahead and see what his defenses looked like last time. Actually, how far back do we go? Oh, can we even go back to the last 3v3? I don't remember. Did they stop allowing us to pull that? It looks like they did. That's probably a good thing. Okay, well then we can just ignore that. Let's check the chat since I've been ignoring you all for a bit. Yeah, Warlord. My alt looks slightly better, but that's only because I created this alt entirely just for GAC. So it's super, super efficient. Okay, so let's jump back in and set up some of these teams. we'll go ahead and start with defense. Oh, actually, one thing that we can look at is what he normally sets fleet-wise. I didn't pay much attention to that. Okay, so he doesn't use the Rex, Anakin, Y-Wing setup, so this will be fine. So if he was using Rex, Anakin, Y-Wing as his normal fleet, I would keep Grievous, the Grievous fleet, on offense. But since he doesn't normally set that, then I should be able to take out his fleet very easily without Grievous. So we'll put Grievous on defense and Akbar on defense. And I always like to go ahead and include Gauntlet with Grievous. It's nice to give him that cleanse on defense. It's also nice to keep it for an Empire fleet on offense, but if I need to use my Empire fleet on offense, I've done something wrong. All right, and then I don't have the U-Wing really up enough to start it, so I'm just going to start Biggs and Rebel Y-Wing with the Millennium Falcon. Okay. Now he's got a very good chance of clearing my fleet, so I could put a strong defense in front of the fleet. But let's check out what our actual score potential is here. Okay, so 144 points plus 186. So 330 points, I believe. So this territory is worth a lot more. So we'll set up a tough defense in front of this territory. Hey, I do have some 3v3 presets already set up. What do you know? Almost like I was, or at least thought about being prepared. All right, so this is where we're going to put our Darth Revan. Now, I always put a lot of speed on Darth Revan for GAC. I don't take away from my absolute top teams, but this is one where I try to put as much speed as possible because the defense capability is really good. So 144 is about all I could manage after putting the speed that I needed on Hux and Supreme Leader Kylo, and I believe also... where else did I put speed before him? I don't remember. So 144 is pretty good. And then you generally also want a fast Bastila, but you don't have to. You can go with a really tanky, tenacious Bastila. There's a couple different options there. Same with Malik. All right. Okay, let's see what else we want to do here. Ooh, I really need to edit some of these teams. They are not great. For example, this Newt team. Let's drop Jingo. And get Dooku in there. All right. Nice, painful defense team. For low investment. And now let's go ahead and get a defensive... Let's get the crew team in there. As our third tough spot. Which apparently... I also don't have this one set up. Yeah. Okay, so there's our tough defensive wall in front of the most valuable territory, or most valuable back wall territory. Back here, we'll probably just throw mostly trash and hope that my opponent can't get through it. And over here, we'll put our next best squads. Let's see. That's probably going to be... GEONOSIS, Grievous, maybe Bounty Hunters on this account. And Night Sisters that I just recently Zeta'd, but are still kind of crap. And my resistance is terrible on this account, so I'm not too worried about completing any feats. My spy's not amazing, but it might be good enough to give them trouble. Yeah, let's go ahead and put Shock T out there too. And I don't have Bosk in here. Let's grab a Bosk lead. Not great, but my Bosk has pretty good mods, so it can cause some problems. Alright, with that set, let's go back here and drop mostly crap. Now this guy doesn't have, or my opponent doesn't have Supreme Leader Kylo. I didn't check and see what his Kylo looks like, but he's probably going to be able to solo this team with one thing or another if he gets to it. I kind of hate throwing them out there, but they're better than other trash. Alright, and now let's throw the Night Sisters out. And why not? Just for old time's sake. Okay, and our defense is set. That all makes sense. Any questions from anybody? Yes, I will be streaming the attack too. This is just the test stream that I wanted to do to learn how all of this works before I get to that. Because that, obviously, I want to make sure goes a little bit better. Oh, HK, thanks for that information. Would have been helpful if I'd looked at that. Warlord, as far as separating crew and slacker for 3v3, more than likely I'm going to be soloing something with slacker. And I don't really... he's not that great on defense in 3v3. Not like he is in 5v5. So I'm going to keep him for offense. He should be putting his Ray on defense, and so I'm probably going to be using my slacker against his Ray. We'll see how that goes. I'm also saving my Watt, my Vader, and Thrawn for things like that. Yep. That is your role indeed, HK. Yeah. All right. Well, that went pretty well. Do you guys want me to go ahead and stream my other account? I don't really care about that one as much in GAC, but I've got different characters on it, so it's a little bit different. Let's go ahead and... adjust this. Warlord, yeah, I'm mostly hoping for front holds there. On my alt account, I don't have that many teams. Like, I don't have really enough 3v3 teams that to where I'm not going to have some solo bait. So I'm going to put solo bait out there somewhere so that I have enough left over for offense. So I'm setting up just a front wall to hopefully prevent some access to the back row. Depending on how my opponent really goes on offense or defense here, he's probably going to get through over there on the to the back row, and then he's going to get some solos. But I should be more efficient on my offense than he will be. So we'll see how that goes. That said, I'm also not the hugest fan of 3v3, so I don't tend to care quite as much. I do a lot more plotting for 5v5. Yes, yeah. He's got JKL and Relic Wampa. Oh, no, I don't think he had Relic Wampa. Let me check that real quick. But I thought he had JKL and Relic Wampa. Yeah, he does have. Yeah, so like Wampa's going to be able to stomp through if he makes it to the back row. But like I said, a really fast Darth Revan has a solid shot at holding a wall. In the last 3v3 round, there was only a 50% clear rate on those. That's pretty crazy for a non-galactic legend. All right. Well, give me a couple of minutes to switch over to the other account, and we'll do that one real quick. And we're back. That wasn't too difficult. Okay, let's get back to... Let's get back to this real quick and check out our other opponent. Jerry Standen. This guy's got a good number of offensive wins, unders, and clears. Not great on defense. His best score, not amazing, but pretty solid. My wins, unders, and clears are generally less than everybody else's because I took a good year off the game. All right. Mods. His mods are about average. And I've got him beat on relics pretty drastically. He has GL Ray, but not relict, so that's not going to be super great on defense. And he's been putting a lot of extra relics into focusing on specific characters, which, while great for Arena and a few other modes, is actually quite bad for GAC, in my opinion. His watt's not great, but it's still going to be useful, so we'll have some watt counters out there. No, not that this is going to be a terribly useful comparison, since it doesn't have my GAC mods registered in here for some reason. Oh well. And he doesn't have a General Grievous, so that'll help me a lot on ships. So we'll leave that other side pretty weak and try to trap him on my ships over there. Not that this should be a particularly tough GAC for this account anyway. Yeah, Warlord, to address your question or your point there, I found that it's much better. Yeah, it does look like a first round buy to me. But back to Warlord, I find that it's generally much better to balance offense and defense. You don't want to go super hard on either. There's only so efficient you can absolutely be on offense, and so you need to try to make at least some points on defense too. Especially because there's certain teams that are completely useless on offense or defense, so just use them for the right area. All right, so let's start with ships again. Same fleets here. We'll put trash in this row here. But over here, we'll do our Darth Revan again. Now, let's see if I have any of this. Look, I do have some of this prepared. What do you know? How's my Dooku on this account? Probably not as good. Nope. Yeah, we'll go ahead and leave Django in here. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not... And this is why I need to learn these things. Thanks, Matthias. All right. So we put our 2 fleets up. Pretty standard. I only change these up if they're using... Basically, if they tend to use the General Kenobi with Anakin, Y-Wing, and Rex, if that's their normal fleet and they like to put that on defense, then I'll change up what fleets I put on defense. But that's about the only time I do it. And then over here, we're going to put a strong defense again. And I'm probably going to put trash on both of the other sections just to help me clear the offense side more efficiently, try to get some extra points in this, what basically does look like a first round bye here. Now, there are a couple teams that there's not really much point in using for offense, though, so I'll probably go ahead and leave those. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and check what those feats are. Well, I'm not going to use them on defense anyway. All right. So I'll be able to at least try for those regardless. It's probably just whatever aspect ratio Blue Stacks is set up for. Depending on your phone and what you normally run it at, the game looks a little bit different on different devices. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and throw this out. Not super helpful on offense. And that's pretty much all we're going to set as a real defense here. And we'll just try to go for a lot of offensive banners. Yeah, there's a bunch of settings. Okay, so now we'll just throw our Night Sisters out there. Maybe this Rolo team that's not really useful on offense. And we'll keep everything else for offense. Yeah, all right, back here. And just for fun, let's go ahead and get that Mon Mothma team out here. items am I missing? Bounty hunters, that's right. Let's get bounty hunters out here. Maybe some random Sith. Man, when the armor comes out, that's going to change up some things. I am not looking forward to seeing Armorer out there in Arena with Jedi Master Luke. Why not? That looks like fun. Let's just throw it out there, see if he does attack it, and how maybe this does. Who knows? Who's to say? Alright, good enough. And now I'll go do my territory battle stuff. I guess. Can't believe we didn't get that third star here. Really? 1.7 million. So close. So what does everybody else use to get this one if you're using your 3PO with the CLS squad? I saw that HK got this yesterday. What did you use, HK? That's an interesting one, Matt. Huh. Have to take gas out of Jedi team, but I don't think I did so great with that Jedi team anyway, because I don't have that many Jedi left over. Yeah, I definitely like Shock 501st better. I use gas for sure with Jedi. It's just not worth messing with. Alright, we need 2 light side fleets now. Hooray! do my part for king and country. Ugh, damn. Well, don't need that anyway. Well, I guess if I give up CLS, then I can just use 3PO in with Padme anyway. And if I'm doing that, then I can use gas with 501st, and it's fine. If I'm doing that, I'm not giving up arc. Somebody else can give up arc. Alright, let's start here. There we go. Let's see if I can figure out how this negotiator fleet that everybody else likes works. I'm used to starting Anakin, Y-Wing, and 5s, but everybody else likes starting Anakin, Ahsoka, and 5s, and then bringing in Y-Wing later. I like having 2 tanks to begin with. Also, this battle is just freaking insane. Yep, that did me so much good. Well, that was fun. Yeah, I don't understand why people like that fleet comp better. And then this one won't matter. Let's put that later. Well, I think we can go ahead and end the stream on that downer note. It's fantastic. Yeah, Matthias, that's what I like to do. I like Y-Wing 5's Anakin, then call in Plo. And I think that's way better. But everybody recommends starting with Ahsoka in there, and I don't get it. I'm not sure why. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and call it there. I need to get some food and drink. So, thanks for joining me, guys. I think this was a pretty successful test. You know, only one hiccup here and there. So, I'll check you all later.